Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Next Up. I have a very interesting topic to share with you today. It's entitled Chemical Awareness, Unnatural Substances in Our Foods. Chemical Awareness, Unnatural Substances in Our Foods. You know, I really appreciate the job that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is doing as Director or Secretary of Health and Human Services. I really do appreciate that because he's causing exposure to a lot of stuff that the average person has just not been aware of. We need to know. You see, you and I, we need to make informed decisions on what we allow to come into the gateway of this priceless vehicle, the human body. I need to know. I don't want to be eating something, ingesting something, bringing something in that does not match my makeup. Now, that's one of my favorite statements. If the chemical makeup of what you put in your body by way of food and what you drink or on your body, if it doesn't match the chemical makeup of the body, think about it. We're going to have issues. You see, we are a chemical factory. Everything you eat, everything you drink is a chemical. Think about it. So we are a chemical factory, breaking down, assimilating, utilizing to the best of the body's ability, depending on what you put in, of course, breaking these things down and distributing them for utilization. We are, again, a chemical factory. I want you to let that really sink in so that whatever comes in, you are aware of it, that it is a chemical. And if it doesn't match your biological makeup, the way our Creator designed us, there's going to be a clash. Put gas where the water is supposed to be at in the vehicle, or put oil where the water is supposed to be. They don't match. There are certain things that do not match with your biological chemical makeup. They clash and they express themselves in rashes, in headaches. My God, I had grabbed a chapstick from a store some years ago. Now, here's one of my favorite by the Burt's Company. Not that I'm so much trying to advertise the Burt's Company, but I do admire the products that they put out. Well, I was in a rush a few years ago and stopped by a store, picked up a chapstick and quickly rubbed it on my mouth, on my lip. And man, what did I do that for? I mean, it affected my thinking. I mean, I got woozy in the head and knew better. But because of the rush of the moment, I just went and picked up something that was cheap. Didn't thoroughly read the label. And it affected me. We are chemical factories. So I never bought that item again. It was an immediate effect. Immediate. And I'm headed to a meeting, I think a preaching engagement. And I'm woozy in my head, because of what I rubbed on my lips. Well, this one by the Burt's Company, it has items like vitamin E, peppermint, natural items. I haven't had that problem since because I've been keeping a watch like never before over what I allow in and on. So again, whatever you put in or whatever you put on, it's going to have some type of an effect or expression. This is why we have these skin rashes, we have some headaches, or whatever. My point is, again, your body is a chemical factory, and it's also like a garden. Whatever you sow in the garden is what's going to come up. You see, you and I are not going to sow beans and get corn. The only way you're going to get corn is that you sow corn. So if I sow unnatural substances in the body, what's going to be the reaction? There's going to be a reaction. All right, let me say it like this. We are going to reap what we sow. Now, it is not our loving Creator, affectionate Father's desire that anybody perish, that anybody suffer with anything. But I've got to know. I need to know. You need to know what you're putting on, what you're putting in. Now, my focus today is really about what's in the food, but these chemicals are not just in the foods. I was doing a seminar some years ago up in the Virginia area, and there was a department head from a very prestigious university. He said to me after the seminar, Dr. Ellison, don't just teach the people about what's in the food and the water. Make them aware also of what's in the clothing, of what people are putting on. He said, in our department, we focus on chemicals. He said, we are very much aware of chemicals that's in the clothing. All right, well, your clothing is made up of chemicals, some type of a chemical, some type of a material. He said, by all means, make people aware of the chemicals in clothing. Tell them to wash their clothes before they wear them. I'm like, man, I hadn't been thinking about that. He said, tell people it would be advisable to wash their clothes before they wear them. He went on to say, because we are very much aware of chemicals that are in the clothing. Wow. So it's not just in the foods, as we're going to get deeper into today. It's in clothing. It's in water. Oh, yeah. I read a letter. I was trying to find it before the podcast today. I read a letter from, I believe it was from Planned Parenthood to the Population Council. I used to have a copy of that some years ago. This letter goes back to the 60s. And one of the things that I remember that was in that letter, you search very diligently online, you may be able to find it, from Planned Parenthood to the Population Council. Well, one thing that I remember that was stated in that letter is that they would put fertility control substances in the water supply. Did you hear what I just said? That was in the 60s in order to help control the population growth. We need to be aware. Now, how many are aware of something like that? It's there. I read it for myself. I had a copy of it. I'm gonna find it, and maybe I'll once I find it, maybe I'll just do a special podcast on that particular letter. Again, that's why it makes me very appreciative to somebody who is going to expose information like Robert F. Kennedy, and no doubt his staff working with him, are doing under this administration. I want to know. I don't want to be putting something in that my Creator didn't design to go in what He created. He was very clear He was very specific when he designed the human body. I don't want to be putting something in that he didn't design. All right. Well, I played that music a little bit. So let me look at some other notes I put here before I'm actually going to show you a PowerPoint in just a moment of something that I did some years ago. I didn't just start this. Now, this PowerPoint on chemical awareness is going to go back at least 15 years ago. So I didn't just start this. And those that know me at any length, that's been in my seminars over the years, you've probably seen it or at least heard some of what I'm going to show you. So if what you eat, since we're focusing on chemicals in our foods, if what you eat comes in a package, a can, a box, if it has a label, in other words, dear people, my brothers and my sisters, read the label. Know what you're bringing into the house, because you become what you ingest. Know what's on the label. Get on your phone the Yuka, Y-U-K-A, Yuka app. It's a good app to have on your phone. You can take that app, and scan the barcode that's on that item that has a label. Or if it has a barcode, of course, it's going to usually have a label telling you the ingredients that's in that item. Read the label. Know what's in the item. But let the Yuka app also tell you the quality of what you're putting in, because it will do it. It will let you know whether that food item is poor, good, or excellent. I use it quite often if I've got a question about anything. Why? Because I'm not just letting any old thing into this, once again, priceless vehicle. So by all means, dear folks, read the label. All right, let's get to the PowerPoint. I want to show you some stuff that you and I must be aware of. All right, here we go. Let me get it straight here. Okay, let me get my scrolling. All right, I just clicked it off. Let's get back here. Here we go. Chemical awareness. All right, so let me enlarge it here. Reasons why ingredients are added to foods. Number one, as you see here on the PowerPoint, and you see the source that this came from, the USDA, United States Drug, USDA. I forget what the A stands for, but you see the source there. Reasons why ingredients are added to foods. You see, foods, the way God gave them, don't need ingredients added to them to preserve them or to enhance their flavor. Was not what he gave us good enough? All right, number one, they add ingredients to foods to maintain or improve safety and freshness. To maintain or improve safety and freshness. Well, when we had our own gardens, we would bring the food item from the garden to the table. We didn't have to be concerned about safety or freshness. We looked after our own stuff. Now, what's my emphasis here? It's a whole lot better to get items that are safe foods to eat and fresh. Fresh fruits and vegetables. Because when you're going down these aisles and you are bringing home eternal foods, did you hear that? Eternal foods. What is an eternal food? A food item that exists forever. A burger that's been in the coat pocket for 5 years and it hasn't dissolved. It's loaded with chemicals to preserve, to maintain whatever quality it has. It's eternal foods. These are eternal foods. Or some foods that I call adulterated foods too. Well, these eternal foods are adulterated. A lot of stuff added to it or to them. So it goes on to say preservatives slow down, or preservatives slow product spoilage caused by mold, air, bacteria, fungi, and yeast. But if we're eating from the garden, putting it on the table and fixing that particular item, we don't have to worry about spoilage. Real food will spoil. I want you to know that. Real food will spoil. Food that doesn't spoil, a burger or whatever. And this is what I've seen quite often and heard people talk about. A burger that will last for 6 months without spoiling, or some food item that will last a year without spoiling. Do you really want that in your body? Again, because real food will spoil. Check out an apple, cut it in half, a banana, a pear, any fruit or vegetable. It's going to spoil after a certain period of time when you start opening it. All right? Number 2, these ingredients are put in foods to improve, they say, or maintain nutritional value. Does God need us to improve on what he gave? You know, we used to hear this thing years ago, don't fool with Mother Nature. See, this is where we got to be careful. Don't play around with Mother Nature. In other words, and I like the statement, you can't improve on the Creator. Now, if you can improve on the Creator, you're better than the Creator. So they put ingredients, they add ingredients to the food to improve, so to speak, or maintain nutritional value. Vitamins and minerals and fiber are added to make up for those lacking. That word lacking should be lacking in a person's diet, or loss of these nutrition in processing or enhance nutritional quality of the food. Let me go back and re-say that again. So items are put in there for what we're missing in our diet. Well, when we're not eating enough fruits and vegetables in particular, that our Creator put the fiber in these items. So because we're not getting enough fruits and vegetables, so they put minerals, vitamins, and fiber to add for what we're lacking, or what we're lacking in processing to enhance the quality of our foods. No, I don't need any foods that you got to add stuff to enhance the quality. I don't need that stuff. Neither do you. They also add ingredients to improve taste, texture, and appearance. Gotcha. Hook, line, and sinking you. God's foods don't need anything added for the taste. Now, of course, if you want to add some hot sauce, with cayenne pepper and all that good stuff in it and vinegar, stuff on your whatever food item. That's a different story if you want to be creative. You want to be innovative, if you would, to what you want to eat. No. Here, we're talking about adding because we're playing God as scientists. Let me break it down and say it like this. When you go into your supermarket and the salmon fish has coloring added to it, or your apples have coloring added to them, since when did God need us to add coloring to the salmon? And you see what it said? For texture and really appearance, to get the eyes, grab you by what you see. Because how many people shop by what they see versus what they know? We've got to be in the know. Does it match up with the chemical makeup of the body? What will it do if it gets into my body? This is why I'm a stickler on reading the label, being informed about that particular item. When we read items like azotocarbamide, or ingredients, should I say, atrazine, bisphenol A. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself, but we're going to see some of these items in just a moment. Well, if you're going to ingest them, at least know what they are and what they will do in the body. Even when you get meds from the doctor or the pharmacy, it tells you, those meds tell you what they're going to do in your body. That's why I'm not a fan of anything. You're going to give me something, you're going to give me a med and then tell me, by the way, this could cause hallucinations. Really? Oh, yeah? And you want me to take that in? This could cause heart palpitations, hallucinations. It can cause you to become schizophrenic or paranoid. I don't need anything like that. You mean to tell me the all-knowing, all-wise God who created me doesn't have substances on the planet that I can take that won't cause me to have a hallucination, become schizophrenic, become antisocial, want to fuss at my wife, want to fuss at the dogs and the cats because of that substance? Common sense tells me I don't need that in my mind, in my body. That's going to not only cause biological, physical problems, it's going to cause mental problems. Well, that's it. Oh, by the way, you could have hallucinations. Well, you take it. Let me see how it works with you before you recommend it to me. We have to go back to the University of Common Sense and apply common sense. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Here's my first chemical that I want us to be aware of. High fructose corn syrup, found in almost all processed foods. Come on, you all, let's look at the list together. Let's be informed. Let's be aware. Let's be in the know. Let's not be hoodwinked, bamboozled, sedated, put to sleep on awareness of what's in our food supply. High fructose corn syrup. Here it is. In soft drinks. Look at it. And just look at the soft drink that you got at your home right now. See if it has high fructose corn syrup in it. Get on your phone or your computer and find out what high fructose corn syrup does in the body, such as throwing off your blood sugar, such as causing inflammation. It's in soft drinks. Just look at the item for yourself. It's in fruit juices, breakfast cereals. Again, I thank God that RFK Jr. is focused on getting some of these items out of our food supply. Breakfast cereals, ice cream and dairy products, check them out for yourself. Soups and sauces, condiments and salad dressings. Oh yeah, you got to check out everything. You better vet everything. It's your life. It's your body. You're not going to get another one until the resurrection. So you better be a good steward over the one that you have. And how do you be a good steward? With knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. The three contractors, and I like to say wisdom is the general contractor of everything. But I've got to know. We serve a God who knows. He knows everything about us. He knows everything about creation. He created creation. He knows every star. The Bible lets us know by name, billions and billions of stars, and he knows them all. He knows how he created the human body. He didn't create the human body for substances like high fructose corn syrup. It's not in your biological makeup. I don't care how good that substance may taste and how it stimulates your taste buds and your neurons. You need to be aware of what does it do in the body. First of all, what is it? Secondly, what will it do when I let it in the body? Well, I'm not going to let it in there. Now, if you choose to let it in, you have that choice. You have the right to do what you want to do. God's not taking your will from you, but I do pray that you will use it to do the right thing. Do the right thing toward your body. Stop gouging all this stuff in your body, all these chemicals, and then go to the doctor and say, fix me. Give me a magic pill to get over all of that high fructose corn syrup that I got from all of these different items that it's in, from ice cream and dairy products, cookies and crackers. I do not eat crackers or cookies with high fructose corn syrup in them because I don't eat a lot of cookies anyway, but I do sometimes. But they're not going to have high fructose corn syrup in them. Condiments and salad dressings, baking products and baking goods, candy bars, oh my God, and gum. You don't need gum. Gum is triggering the enzymes, I think it is, the saliva, and all that's in the saliva. Gum gets the body ready to eat, to consume. So we're tricking the body, chewing the gum. Why do we need it? I used to do it too, don't get me wrong. What does the chewing gum, first of all, what is in the chewing gum? What does the chewing gum do to my body? How does the chewing gum affect my health? Why do I need the chewing gum for breath freshening? I don't. There are other things that we can use if you're using it for breath freshening. But think about it. Just chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing for X amount of minutes, or whatever. Telling the body something is getting ready to come down and nothing comes. Think about it. This is serious stuff. So the rest of the body is on alert that evidently something is getting ready to come down because a master put something in the mouth And the mouth is not disconnected from other functions inside of your digestive operation. No, it's connected. It's connected with other areas inside of this digestive tract. So it's like, let's see, it's like I called my wife and family, if all the children were at home, all of them are grown and gone, and said, get things ready. I'm bringing bags of groceries home for our evening meal. There we go. So they get everything ready. They got the pots and the pans and the spoons and the forks. They got the table spread. They got the pots and pans ready for whatever item we're going to cook. And I don't come home until hours later. They were like, wait a minute. We had everything prepared to eat. Where is the food? Well, that's what we're doing when we're chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing this gum. The body's like, where is the food? You're doing all the chewing. You're activating the saliva and so forth there in the mouth. Where is the food? And the body sits there waiting for the food, and the food doesn't show up. When it went to work in preparation for the food. That's what the chewing gum thing is like. Excuse me, is like. And then what does it do to your teeth? What does the chewing gum do to your blood sugar, blood pressure? All right, something to think about. Jellies, these chemicals are the high fructose corn syrup is found in your jellies, your jams, your jellies, your syrup. Check it out for yourself. Don't just take my word for it that I'm showing you here on the PowerPoint. And lastly, high fructose corn syrup is in cough syrup and low-fat diet foods, such as you see right there. Read the label. The labels, check this stuff out for yourself. I'm stopping the PowerPoint. That's just slide 1. Hold on. We're going to get into slide 2 next time on Next Up. All right. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the Next Up podcast. And also available for you on my website, ellisonsconsulting.com. ellisonsconsulting.com is my book, Insights for Healthy Living and Weight Control. Love you. I love you guys. Thank you for your time, your attention. Again, share the website. The website as well, and the podcast so we can empower more people to be in charge, in control of their health. See you next time on Next Up.